Y'all, welcome back to Small Beginnings with Sarah. I'm so excited for you to hear part three, the final episode of Jesse and Danielle Younger's story. Y'all, they are such an amazing couple, and I know you've fallen in love with them. But this final episode sort of is like the icing on the cake. They share about the 5 values that they've built their family on and built their company on, and you're going to be so encouraged. It's just really, really good stuff. So, y'all sit back and relax and enjoy this final episode of Jesse and Danielle's story.
Plant a seed, no one knows what it will be. Watch it grow, watch it grow, watch it grow, watch it grow. Your small beginning.
So, fast forward. Well, really, don't have to fast forward then. London was no. And then what happened?
London was no, and it still took me a year. I mean,
We needed to be responsible.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that sounds like maybe I was scared about jumping feet first into this family business, but it truly wasn't. I mean, it was patiently waiting for that time. God made it clear and evident for Jesse when he was supposed to start and when he was supposed to leave. And for me, my prayer in this time was from James 1:22, and I had so many people praying this for me. And it's do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves, but do what it says. And that action there is to do. Um, and that was hard, but through guidance from Jesse and through being good stewards of this business that God gave us, it became extremely clear and extremely evident when that action of doing what God had told me, what I had heard was supposed to happen. And it couldn't have been more perfect for me to jump on board. And so now that was just, Sarah, literally a year ago today.
Oh,
that
wow.
that
Wow.
I was able to
Wow.
fulfill this promise. That he fulfilled this promise to us, I should say.
Wow.
That we're supposed to be doing this together as a team with no other distractions. Um, with no other distractions, and to be fully engaged together in this company.
Wow. 1 year. I love y'all's story so much because the weaving and the valleys and the mountaintops and where you are, like it's such a connection to God, with God guiding you all along the way. It's so beautiful. So, well, tell us a little bit about your business, and then I also want to hear about your children and ask you some questions about that. But where are y'all today with Younger Homes?
It's crazy. It's crazy. We've well, let's see. So when did we officially open our doors?
2018.
2018.
We were not even through with our prototype house when we had our first 2 clients. It was when I said that we thought we were called to do this because we were doing something different. Those first 2 clients, I think, gave us that motivation. Like God sent us those people.
Absolutely, because they were the perfect people that we needed to grow the business, and it just hasn't stopped since. We've got 2.5 years later. We've got six employees now. We've got 8 custom homes in construction right now, and a backlog of 10 or more. following that, we're just beyond blessed, and God continues to just reveal more and more. I keep using the phrase strikes a chord with my soul, because he keeps finding desires and skill sets
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
many years back, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's why
Right.
that here we are.
Like you would never link some of the things that we have done and been taught to what we're doing now.
That architectural configurator stuff,
Yeah.
like I I I am our IT department, and I'm using that skill in the custom home building business.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me working in safety for offshore drilling rigs and providing oversight and self-verification to make sure that operations are safe, and doing the same thing for our homes and construction to make sure that they're being built to our quality and our standards. Like, never would I have dreamed that those two things would correlate. It's just,
So beautiful.
yeah.
So this how God works, he gives us opportunities, right, to develop these skills, and then he brings them forward in creative ways to the future. That is so awesome.
we are keeping in step
Mm-hmm.
with the Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, I just think that being able to run a business in a God-centered fashion is so critical, but also has allowed us to grow how we have grown, to adopt the people into the Younger Homes family that we've been able to hire. It just changes your whole perspective when you can make God-centered decisions.
Our cup is overflowing right now. God has allowed it to happen, and it is such a blessing to be able to support other people and to build up your community and to serve people in such an important endeavor. Like, it's just, it's amazing.
Just being able to create your own values, and to be able to treat people, to be able to have a Christian-based company. It's our mission field. Our work is our mission field.
To be more specific about your values in your company, what would you say, like, the top 1 or 2 tenets are of what you absolutely they're non-negotiables?
We have 6 of them.
6? Tell us. Tell us.
And when we started this business, we still have the piece of paper, the 8.5 by 11 chicken scratch that Danielle and I sat down and prayed over. We keep it, and we pull it out whenever we hire a new employee, or we're kicking off a new year, we're thinking about a big decision. We always pull this piece of paper out and refer back to it, because that's our moment in time when God spoke to us and said what Younger Homes was going to be specifically.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that really hasn't changed in our business.
Right.
And it starts with God and family first. Putting him first, and really it's more than that. It's he's in everything that we do. He's not first. He's there. And for our us and our employees, it's about family as well. Like, this is a business that works for its people, not the other way around. And that has really helped align this culture with what we feel is so important, and what we feel, I mean, as can get lost so easily. It's such a slippery slope.
Yes.
To let the business run you.
Right.
And it's a constant battle to fight for that God and family first, that first and core value for us.
Yeah, it's that corporate term work-life balance that never gets achieved if you don't have your priorities right.
Yeah, the next value is that we are servants. This is a servant business. And we are so joyful to be able to serve people in such an important decision. It is absolutely just so much joy to be able to serve people in this. And it's not easy all the time.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not.
Right.
Not. It takes an intentional mindset,
Mhm.
and so much so that we do every week. Our team does. It's called Thursday Serve Day, and we reset our minds to that, and we go out and we specifically do things that are just selfless servants. And we serve those around us. We serve each other. We serve our trades. We serve our clients. We serve job sites. We'll
Wow.
pick up a broom and clean. And there is nothing that we are above.
Right. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Well, I think Sarah will like this one. We're called to be creative, and we want that creativity to be in the hearts of all of our employees, because there are always going to be better, more productive, or beautiful way of doing things. And we want our employees to be creative so that they can be innovative and be all of the things that God has given them those talents to be, to produce that creativity.
The phrase, well, this is the way it's always been done, does not fly or exist here.
Yeah.
At all.
Wow. Oh, that's so refreshing. You know I love that one. Yes. There's freedom for God to give
Absolutely.
more.
And we are surrounded by super, super talented and smart people. Why would you not give them the freedom to create and outside the box? Amazing things have happened when you let people just create. I like this one a lot. We are efficient for sure. We love being efficient. The phrase that we toss around is that we do more with less, and that is so true. And that's just being a steward of the environment and reducing waste. It has to do with being a good steward to our clients. There's a common way of doing things in the construction industry where, to save costs, reduce costs, you point the finger at trades and you say, stonemason, give me this for 25 cents a square foot less, and that's not what we do. We point the finger back at ourselves and we say every dollar that we spend as a company is going to work hard for us, because we know that results in a better price and a more efficient operation, which benefits the client. We are efficiency gurus, love systems and processes, love IT stuff, love automation, and just that all falls into this efficient value.
And a little bit about us, just kind of behind the scenes. So efficient that our home is our office. Our home is also our model home. And so I think there might be some crazy thinking in that. How do you raise a family and two young children, 4 and 6, in a home that you're showcasing to others as being a showcase? But God's allowed us to do that and do it well.
Right. And it allowed us to be set up for these current times too. I mean, all of our employees were remote from the start. And so it's been business as usual for us.
I mean, that just goes back to earlier in our personal story about being remote workers for the corporation. I mean, God showed us how to remote work efficiently and effectively.
And the benefits of that.
And the benefits. Yeah. Huge benefits.
Yeah.
So that it really is. I mean, when we're faced with these unprecedented times where we could be scrambling to, stay productive. We didn't skip a beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to hear the other two?
Yes. These are so good.
Oh, these were prayed over so much, Sarah. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
these are great.
Mhm.
So the sixth one is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one.
Mhm.
The fifth one is humility and
Mhm.
and humble.
Mm,
And this just kind of it embodies a few key things, and it's respect for the communities, respect for each other,
Mhm.
respect for the environment. But I think more so it's again it's kind of having been in the construction industry and kind of see where it's easy to fall short. Um, Humility for us is with our trades and being collaborative with them.
Mhm.
It's us being vulnerable and saying, you know what, like we don't know it all, and we know that we're working with smart people.
Mhm.
We call them trade partners, right? They're not subcontractors. They're not below us. They're part of the team, and we work with them. They don't work for us.
Mhm.
And that's the mentality and the culture that I think really creates this. I wish you could just come on our job sites. It's so unique. People are happy. People are smiling most of the time. But I think it boils down to this, because we respect people for what they can.
Mhm.
We respect people and what they think and what they can offer. And on the flip side of that is it's also an industry of nothing's perfect. And so when mistakes do
mhm,
happen, it's
mhm,
showing that grace and mercy and not bringing the hammer down, and because that could have easily been me or somebody else, and
Mhm.
mistakes are going to happen. And so being humble enough to
mm.
show that mercy, uh,
Mhm.
I think has really allowed us to build a fantastic trade base,
Mhm.
and partners in that as well.
And I'll also just echo that with our employees. I mean, as our business grows, being able to sit on the same side of the table with our employees, making those
Hmm.
decisions about building our business. I mean, Jesse and I are so transparent in our operations, probably too much.
Hmm.
And so much more can be achieved when we're just vulnerable with each other. What's on your minds? So much.
And people are smart. Like
Yeah.
people,
Hmm.
there's a saying that character is how you treat those who can do nothing for you.
Hmm.
And I feel like we even take that a step further, and we say that everybody has something to offer.
Hmm.
Like everybody can do something.
Hmm.
And so by giving people this, like we share our numbers with our employees. We share things that happen, like raw thoughts and these conceptual ideas that we're thinking with our employees, because we want their feedback.
Hmm.
They're smart people, and
Hmm.
they understand the culture. They
Right.
understand what we're about.
Hmm.
And to get 6 people in a room,
Hmm.
man, powerful things can happen.
That is so wonderful. What great leadership y'all have. So there's one last tenant value that you have.
Hmm. So the last one is a whole bunch rolled into one, but what it came down to was set apart. And set apart for us means being that company, being those people who are so peculiar that others, clients, competition, trades, whoever it might be, are just so drawn to us because we are doing something so different and we stand out so much and we have the confidence in where God is leading us on this path that they want to know us, and then that is where our light can shine for God and what he has done in this business. um
It's about being comfortable being in the spotlight too. It's about,
mhm.
because we're doing something different, it's very common that you get that question. And what are y'all doing? That's
Mm-hmm.
why are y'all doing it that way? That's like
Mm-hmm.
that's not normal. And
Mm-hmm.
being confident enough and being okay being set apart,
Right.
being okay being that, I like the word peculiar, being comfortable being
Mhm.
peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that is so good, y'all. I'm just, of course, God has favor on your company because your values are all connected to Him and who He is. And He has set apart His people to shine, but it doesn't mean you're not interfacing with everyone to let your light shine. So, so beautiful. Do you need a safe place to connect with other creatives? I have a membership group called the Inner Circle of Small Beginnings, and it may be just the membership community that you have been looking for. It is safe, it is full of joy, full of caring people, and just so special. God's presence actually comes and rests on us as we meet together on live Zoom. I have people in this group from Australia to Africa and all over the United States. So it's a membership group where God is in the center of my weekly live teachings, all relevant about growing our relationship with Jesus and our increased faith and our daily creative walk. Y'all, here are some quotes from some of my members. This group has just been a delight. Here's another one. I really like Mondays now. Hey, we meet on Mondays. And I really like how Spirit-led you are. So y'all, my wait list is open now. Click on the link in the show notes and pre-registration will begin on July 28th. But when you get on the wait list now, you will be able to pre-register for my exclusive membership program at the discount price of $27 a month starting on July 28th. When you register after July 31st, the price will be going up to $37. The doors will be open only for a limited amount of time. So get on my wait list now for my private membership called Inner Circle of Small Beginnings with Sarah, and we will send you a free PDF of my favorite Bible translations. You're going to be so blessed that you made the decision to become a member. Be blessed. I know I would love to ask you just a little bit about your family and how Emily and William fit into this, because I think people need to know that it can be done very intentionally, but how do y'all do it with two small children and officing from home
Mm-hmm.
and running a business that is growing rapidly?
It takes a village.
It takes a gosh. That's so true.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
How do we do it? It's not one thing. What is it?
Mhm,
It's it's intentionality, like you said, Sarah.
mhm,
It's being parents when we're called to be parents, um, and also being mindful that we have a company that is kind of like our third child, and we
mhm,
have employees and clients to take care of as well. That balance is naturally there in a really weird way. I mean, just this morning, William got up at 7, and that's about the time some of our superintendents will come to the house to pick up supplies. And he's out there for 30 minutes with them, just helping out because he can and he loves it. And
Yeah.
I love that I could either choose, I could choose two things. I can either choose to be joyful in that circumstance and to appreciate the values that he is learning through us and through our people, um, to work as if you're working for the Lord and not for men. Or
mhm,
I could make the decision to be upset and you're ruining efficiency, you're not helping and you're getting dirty at 7:00 in the morning. Two very different schools of thought, but very clear the one that I'm supposed to have as a Christ-centered mom. And in that moment at 7:00, I'm 100% mom. I'm not 100%, owner of Younger Homes. And I just love that we can be both in this life that God has set up for us, and we can do both well. You want to talk about intention, like the intentional part of it?
I think it starts with that first value. I think it's that God and family first.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it is. Yes, the business is like a third child, but ultimately it comes secondary,
Mm-hmm.
and it works for our family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a perfect all the time thing. There's still some times when something happens and we need to take care of some things after 5:00. Like it's not that, but fighting for God and family first, more often than not, I think establishes that. And I think that, I just think it goes back to having a business that supports your family. That permeates to your employees. It permeates to the clients who want to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
I think they expect that. I think that,
Mm-hmm.
not being bashful about that first value, God and family first, sets the tone right when
Right.
we meet somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful framework.
And I think, a term that both makes us cringe is the word grind.
Hmm.
And anytime I hear that, it just makes my soul cringe.
Yeah.
Because I truly don't think that you have to grind.
I don't think you have to grind. Grinding is necessary for a means to an end.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on the same page about that. Grinding for the sake of, man, yeah, that's where you can get in trouble. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can get one more job, or let me get a little bit more. I have 30 minutes left out of the day. Let me just do this one more thing. And no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And that's where you set those healthy boundaries and those healthy habits. I think that you might not meet those expectations all of the time, but if you set those boundaries and you do those habits even 80% of the time, you create a healthy environment for your family. And some of those things.
Yeah, we can speak to some specifics if you like, some habits.
Yes, just give us a few.
Sure.
Because I know it also is very intertwined with efficiency.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So specific habits, that we put in place, to keep that balance. The easiest one for me is just the do not disturb on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It turns on at 4:30,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I'm starting to shut down, and I'm not going to start anything else.
As a business owner,
like, I have my favorites
mm-hmm.
are my family
Mm-hmm.
and our employees.
Mm-hmm.
If they call me in that do not disturb, absolutely, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
But starting to wind down, at that 4:30 mark gets me ready to make that transition. We don't have the luxury of driving from an office and having that reset and that check. And so really starting that transition before the day's end allows me to be a dad
Mm-hmm.
when dad time starts.
Right.
It's turned off, and it is out of my head.
Right.
I think another thing too is just having confidence in your systems and processes as well, knowing that when you're ready to start it up, you can pick back up right where you started.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to keep these things lingering in your head. The 1,000 sticky notes in your brain can just cloud and make your eyes glaze over in front of Emily or William.
Mm-hmm. Right. know that it's not present in the moment.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So being able to truly turn it off is so important.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things, just, on that note, something that we started doing after we had baby number 2 was realizing that quality time one-on-one with each individual baby was so important. And so we set up an evening once a week where we intentionally, separately spend time with either Emily or William.
Mm-hmm.
And that just allows, Emily and I to, after work, let's go paint our nails together and have a spa day and have a bubble bath together. Something that would seem too elaborate during a normal work week, when it's on your calendar and it's scheduled, I don't feel bad about doing it. Jesse will take William and
go welding.
He'll pop a welding helmet on a 4-year-old, and William's in heaven. In heaven, I love welding, Daddy. Was his most recent expression. But they love that time together, and then you don't feel, one of those things is that mom guilt or, dad guilt about, well, I should be spending time with both kids, or now I'm not spending time with my wife, and it just eliminates all of those variables because you're specifically scheduled to spend time with each other intentionally.
And that is the key. Is if you've ever heard of the term time blocking, we are big believers in time blocking, and if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. It's very similar to the school of thought of managing a budget. Like we know we can afford to give and tithe to the church because we've budgeted that money aside. It's you give. The same thing with your time. I know I have time to spend totally involved and focused on the kids because I've given myself time in other areas of the week to take care of work stuff. Like I know it's taken care of. It just allows you to give so much more freely when you have that time with the kids because you've budgeted that time accordingly.
Right.
That's so good. Well, I know people will be taking notes on that. And as we wrap up, I would love for you to tell us, and I'll definitely put it in the show notes, but how people can reach you because, hey, they may be very interested in their next house being with y'all, but also just, information as well. So what is the best way for people to reach you, and share that with us, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I'd love for you to do that, Sarah. And we tell everyone that we just love to dream with people and their custom home. And the most important thing about the way we build, Energy Star certified, Indoor Air Plus qualified, these energy efficient custom homes, is just to be educated on the homes themselves and how to achieve that quality. And the best way to reach us is at our website. And it's just simple. It's younger-homes.com. We also have a Facebook and Instagram page that we love to stay in touch with our followers on. And we love our followers to stay up to date with all of our current projects. We also do several tips and tricks to energy efficient homes and how to achieve that quality and that standard.
Great. Well, I will be sure and put that information in the show notes so people can click to look at that visually. Well, I love ending my podcast with this statement, really, but in question form, that my mama always said because she knew how good God is. But she would say, "How good can God be?" So could you just finish with anything you'd like to say about God's goodness?
Oh my gosh, Sarah, God has been so good to us in this life here on earth. And to live out those talents that he has developed within each of us, to use the time that he has given us and the treasures that he has provided us, to get to where we are, is just all the praise, all the glory goes to him. Specifically for me, how good God is relates back to my calling as a wife, my calling as a wife to a husband who is an amazing figurehead, leader, follower of Christ to our family. I'm so thankful he makes it so easy for me to follow him and to be his helper. God gave man a woman to help him work. And so the fact that Jesse and I get to work together to achieve those promises is just more abundant blessings than I could ever imagine. How good God is to give me two amazingly healthy children, and now a job where I can truly be a part of their life day to day because of the working environment that he's allowed us to create with Younger Homes. It's amazing. I am so grateful that I can pick up at lunch and go down and sit on the picnic table. I'm so grateful that I can not have to worry about being in a conference call at 3:00 and go take my kids. The flexibility that he's given us in Younger Homes for me to live out my calling as a career woman and a mother is beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm so grateful for that. He is so good.
Thank you, Danielle. Jesse?
How good can God be? I cannot believe that God could know me at such a deep level. He knows what I love and desire way more than I even do. And has given us the chance to live in that with our family, with our business, with our community, with the things that God has blessed us with. With all the time and creativity in the world, I could not create or come up with something that was more fulfilling. And as a result, I want to share this with everybody. I want people to know this feeling deeply. It is just indescribable, the gifts that he's given us.
We started off talking about risk-taking or perceived risk-taking. I can't help but be pointed back to 2 Corinthians 2, 6 through 16. And it says exactly what Jesse just spoke. And I just love how, Jesse, you're always speaking like truth into our life and into our company. It says, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived. These things God has prepared for those who love him.
Amen. Amen. Y'all, this has been so amazing. So much wisdom, so much joy in your story that God is telling, that God is writing, and he's right in the middle. So yeah, who knows, like if I interview you in a year, like what else will your story have? Like, yeah, there's so much adventure. So I just bless y'all, and I thank you for your time. And I just say, yeah, thank you so much for coming on Small Beginnings with Sarah, because I feel like it's a good thing I got you now before it gets too big.
Watch it grow, watch it grow, watch it grow. Your small beginning.
Y'all, thank you so much for joining me today as Jesse and Danielle shared their story. If you haven't listened to the first 2 parts of their story, then those are in episodes just before this, episode 11 and 12. I just really hope that you've been inspired by this amazing couple. There's so much more God's writing in their life, and I'm so blessed that they chose Small Beginnings with Sarah to share their story. So y'all follow them. You can look at their information in the show notes, and you can communicate to them. They are so giving and so want to help you in your own journey. So blessings, y'all, as we remember how good God can be.